Hello and welcome to Military Mayday, where we're pointing out a few pieces on the chessboard. Found a cool little interesting story here from Black Rifle Coffee Company about next year's tech. So it kind of caught my eye. It's a short little story. We're going to go over it out here. From rifles to robot tanks, here are the 24 new weapons the Army is fielding in the next year. The Army is transforming the soldier up from the rifles they carry to the missiles that fly over their heads. By the end of 2023, soldiers will go into the field with 24 new weapons and other combat systems, either prototypes or fully operational equipment. 24 systems currently or soon to be rolled out are at the backbone of the Army's plans to fully modernize the weapons and equipment it uses in nearly every aspect of how it fights by 2030. Officials said in early October at the annual meeting of the Association of the U.S. Army and AUSA in Washington, D.C., over the next decade, the Army will field more than 30 new systems, from rifles to tanks to drones to continent-crossing Dark Eagle missile systems. Army Futures Command officials told Coffee or Die magazine that 14 of those systems, including enhanced night vision gear, are already in the hands of soldiers. More than half of these systems not yet in the field the next couple of years are key for delivery. We are getting it done, Chief of Staff of the Army James McConville said. In the future, we are not going to be outgunned, we are not going to be outranged, we are not going to be outmaneuvered on the battlefield. Well, we're already pretty much that. It's the United States military. McConville originally announced on October 2021 that 24 weapon systems will be fielded by the end of the fiscal year of 2023. Perhaps closest to soldiers' daily lives will be the Army's new rifle and automatic squad weapon, which marked the first revamp of small arms in more than a generation. After a multi-year shootout among manufacturers, 2 Sig Sauer weapons were selected as the Army's next generation rifle and squad automatic rifle earlier this year. I think one of these weapons here is having some issues. Sig XM5, the military version of the MCX Spear, is expected to start replacing the M4 carbine as the military's primary rifle in 2023. Those with close combat jobs, such as special operators and infantry, will be the first in line for the new weapons. SIG's XM250, a lightweight belt-fed machine gun, will start replacing the M249 SAW. Both new guns use a 6.8 millimeter ammunition rather than 5.56, offering a longer effective range. Once delivered, the guns will drop the X designation, becoming the M5 and M250. Okay, I need to figure out how much this ammo is costing. I might have to report on all these new weapons, really. Army Futures Command office officials told Copy or Die that the service was also on track to replace the weapons that soldiers use all over the battlefield, from long-range precision fires to tanks and drones. The system is the farthest range will be in the long-range hypersonic weapons, a high-altitude missile built to skim the top of Earth's atmosphere at more than 5 times the speed of sound, beyond the reach of enemy air and missile and defense system. That's the long-range hypersonic weapon. And now, a lot of these weapons they've had for some decades. You're just now hearing about them. The hypersonic missiles, nicknamed Dark Eagle, will be able to strike targets 1,725 miles away, roughly the distance from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City, Utah. The missile system can reach 10 times further than any previous Army missile, thanks to the 2019 expiration of a 1987 treaty between the U.S. and Russia. The now lapsed Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF, put a 310-mile cap on missiles that armies of both countries could develop. That is over. With that treaty now void and no serious prospect of its return, systems like Dark Eagle are now legal. And that does go for nuclear options too. But while rifles and missiles have been Army staples for decades, other coming soon systems will include weapons that would have sounded like science fiction just a generation ago. The Directed Energy Maneuver Short Range Air Defense, or DIM Charade, prototype is basically a laser gun that can knock drones out of the sky from the top of a Stryker combat vehicle. And yes, I have seen some years back that they have basically shoulder fire rifle sized weapons that use a directed energy maneuver. I can't remember where I seen that at, but it was a fully working weapon. A software engineer on the project told the Army in September that the laser was awesome but didn't live up to sci-fi movies. If you grew up on Star Wars, it's a little disappointing to learn that the beam makes no sound and isn't visible to the eye. Damon Template said, a tracking system puts the laser beam on target, then the optimal aim point is maintained until the track is neutralized. Other systems include both autonomous and crewed vehicles, such as the robotic combat vehicle and unmanned sidekick for other combat vehicles, and the mobile protective firepower, the Army's new light tank. Both are already in the field as prototypes. Check out that badass. That, too, I would like to have sitting in the driveway. The full list of 24 Army systems expected by the start of 24, the fiscal year in which they were delivered, are expected to be fielded. Squad level small arms and gear. The NGSW, a next generation squad weapon, the Sig Sauer rifle and automatic rifle, the FY-22. The IVAS, integrated visual augmentation system. The ENVG-B, enhanced night vision goggle binocular. The RBCT, reconfigured virtual collective trainer, and number 5 is the SIVT Squad Immersive Virtual Trainer, a software suite for the IVAS. Number 6 is the OWT TMT TSS, one of the world's training management tools, training simulation software. Long range rifle, the PRSM Precision Strike Missile, a short range battlefield missile. The ERCA, Extended Range Cannon Artillery, the Army's latest effort to acquire a self-propelled howitzer cannon after 2 failed attempts in the last 2 decades. LRHW, Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon. The MRC, the Mid-Range Capability, a medium-range missile. The FUTAUAS, Future Tactical Unmanned Aircraft System, a new battlefield drone system, FY-23. AMPV, Armored Multi-Purpose Vehicle, a replacement for the M113 Armored Personnel Carrier, originally fielded in Vietnam. The RCV, Robotic Combat Vehicle. The MPF, Mobile Protective Firepower, a light tank. Communications Technology, the United Network, COE, or Common Operations Environmental Compact Command Post Computing Environmental Mounted Computer Environment, CP-12, Command Post Integrated Infrastructure. MAPS, Mounted Assured Positioning, Navigation, and Timing System. The DAPS, Dismounted Assured Positioning, Navigation, and Timing System. Air and Missile Defense, Maneuver Short Range Air Defense. The IFPC, Indirect Fire Protection Capabilities. The LTAMDS, a lower tier air and missile defense sensor. The AIAMD, Army Integrated Air and Missile Defense. The DEM Charade, Direct Energy Maneuver Short Range Air Defense. That was one named up above. Next, the Army get a peek of the Abrams X tank, which will weigh less and need a small crew. See what we got here.
I do often think about the scope and the impact of what it is we do. I truly believe that it is because of...
Like it's showing nothing. I guess that's all of them. It's a lot to look at, though. Them are just some of the things. I might have to pick a few of these out and do a certain report on some of these vehicles. So what is it here? Where's this one at? The small arms gear combat vehicles, tactical unmanned aircraft system. Yeah, I might have to do something on some of these robotic combat vehicles. Looks pretty interesting. But I thought this was pretty cool. Just some of the things that are coming. Again, we're going to be able to see all this in HD, 5K, you name it. It's going to be wild. Anyway, like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, toodaloo.